Hey nerds, welcome to the Surgical Sewist. If you are here, it's because you chose to make an aorta quilt, which means you are my people. Please send me a message. We should be friends. Today we're going to make a tiny coaster that has an aorta on it for the biggest nerds among us. You are going to need a printed out tiny aorta, so if you have a kit, it's in there. And if you do not have a kit, I will link a PDF in the description. Okay? So print that out and let's get ready to go. Set your printer to print 2 per page on cardstock. On your printed aorta, number every section or mark it so that you could tell the pieces apart. I do not know why I put an A on the aorta, but I did. Anyway, now cut apart all of the different sections on the lines. Here I cut the arch vessels off and then separated all of those pieces. Then I cut the bottom off the lesser curvature, which just leaves you with the aortic arch itself. Now, cut the actual black lines on either side of the arch off. Here, what you're doing is removing an extra millimeter of paper from either side of this curved piece. This is what allows the curved pieces to fit together nicely, and it's actually the key to English paper piecing curved pieces. So this is very important. Put aside one 4.5 by 4.5 inch piece of batting and one 6-inch by 6-inch square of red fabric because you're going to need them later. Right now, take the rest of your red and white fabric and get ready to wrap the papers in them. This step is called basting. To do it, take your paper piece and put it face down on your fabric. I marked the back of all of my pieces so that I know which piece they are when it's face down. Use a little bit of glue if you want to attach the paper to the fabric, and then cut the fabric out around the paper, leaving about 3/4 of an inch. But you could eyeball this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, take your glue stick and put some glue on the top rounded edge of the paper, then fold the fabric down onto this edge. There are going to be little pleats there. That's okay. Now put some glue around the straight edge and fold up the bottom. This is going to leave tails on either side if you look at it from the front. That's okay. You're going to push them out of the way later. You're going to do the same thing for all of the other pieces, but we'll deal with the aortic arch on its own. So just to watch again, you place the paper face down on the fabric and cut the fabric out around the paper piece, leaving about 3/4 of an inch border. Next, you start on one edge and use your glue stick to glue down that edge of fabric onto the paper. Move around. I usually go clockwise, but it doesn't really matter. And glue each edge down. When you make triangles, much like with the bottom piece, there are going to be these little edges that stick out over the back. They're called tails, and that's okay. Here's a close look at the 7th piece. It has 2 large tails. This is great. Now you just have to base the aortic arch itself. Follow the same steps. Put the paper piece face down onto your fabric, and then cut out the fabric with a 3/4 inch border. The big difference is here. You're going to take a bunch of snips in the fabric on the lesser curvature up to where the paper is, but not past where the paper is. Start with this lesser curvature when you're basting. So put some glue along the lesser curvature paper and then just fold up those pieces of fabric onto the paper. The snips will make this work nicely. After that, just go around to all of the other edges one at a time, glue and fold over. With the greater curvature, you will have those folds that you had on piece number 8, and that is okay and normal. Keeping your pieces in order will make the next step easier, but they are marked. The next step is going to be to sew all the pieces together, so check out the next video to see how that works.